Hi, welcome to the finals of the preliminary Pro Tour qualifier in Favorite Forge in Majors Carding Games in Redding, California.
My name is Jacob Walker, commenting with Brogan Hart. Two players. Player on the left, Jesus. He's on the red-green sort of aggro mid-range deck. And the player on the right is Ray. He's a local grinder. I believe Jose is on the play for this match.
And Ray is playing Abza and aggro.
I believe Jose is on the play, which is good for him. Yep. Temple and take a scry on top. What do you think? Who do you think has the edge in this match?
This is usually a pretty good matchup for the Abza and aggro.
Why is that?
They have lots of threats that the red-green monster deck can't really remove, and they also have lots of ways to answer their threats in removal, like Bile Blight, Hero's Downfall. And post-sideboard, they usually have some number of Drowning Sorrows.
Soren's also pretty sweet. We only have Ray's deck list, unfortunately, but Ray's playing one Soren in his main deck and two in his board. I think the only bad part about Drowning Sorrow is that he probably boards out all his goblins for the second game, right?
If he's experienced with the matchup, there's a good chance he does.
Because I know for the Abzan Whip and Constellation, they just never leave him in because Doomwake Giants and stuff just...
Plus, you just get out-monstered by everything else.
Yeah, Hoarding Outburst seems pretty weak against cards like Siege Rhino.
So we got it turn 3, wins Wood of Foothills, he cracks it. He's going to play something.
Going to play probably Fnatic?
Fnatic Mogus.
Fnatic is Xenagos. For those who don't know what it is, it's a 3-mana 3/3 with Trample, and there's Tribute 1. And if you don't pay the Tribute, it gets +1/+1 and Haste on the turn. So, yep, in for 4. Ray goes down to 16.
Turn 3 for Ray.
See what he's got. There's 3 drops, like Anafenza. It's like Scryland at a 2-drop or something.
He scries, keeps on top, and passes. So
passes the turn.
He's a little behind at this point. He does play, I think, 4 Bile Blights main.
4 Bile Blights, 3 Abzan Charm, 3 Downfall, 1 Murderous Cut. Yeah. Follows it up. That's 4th turn with the Rabble Master.
And before combat, Bile Blight.
That makes sense.
So unfortunately, he's going to take another 3 though. So he's down to 13.
His 4th turn is probably just the classic Abzan 4th turn. Mr. Rhinoceros.
Anytime you top 4 from Abzan, that's what you should expect.
Put Ray to 16 and Jose to 16, and then Jose fetches 15. So 5th turn, expect to see Stormwrath Dragon, you think?
If he has it, another good 5th turn is something into Stoke the Flames is usually a good one.
Whirling Outburst into Stoke or Rabble into Stoke.
Siege Rhino is kind of hard to deal with for the deck.
Yeah, I think some number of... I know he's playing some number of Air of the Wilds, and that, at least in my experience of the matchup, is the only thing that Siege Rhino is really weak against. But if he's attacking with it, you're in a good spot, and then if he's blocking with it, you're in a good spot. So, yeah.
So he's going to tap 5, so it'd be Stormbreath
Dragon.
4 in the air.
Right down to 12.
The Pro White on Stormbreath Dragon is really big in this matchup. It's one of your few ways of fighting the deck.
Just makes Wingmate Rock not nearly as threatening. Because if you just leave Stormbreath Dragon, Wingmate can never attack, but can you leave Stormbreath Dragon back every turn with threats of downfall and stuff? I mean, I guess there's only 4 removal spells that actually just outright kill it, but cards like Bile Blight and stuff sure make blocking a lot worse.
5 mana. We have a Wingmate Rock after attack, so it has a raid trigger.
Gonna get that 3/4. Man, I did not like that card when it was first spoiled. Boy, was I wrong. It's gosh, why is that mythic? It just makes 2 creatures. It's not very good. Hero Bladehold is 3 attached to 1.
Yeah, I think a lot of people underrated the life gain that it brings along. It quickly catches you back up.
Yeah, he's just gonna gain 3, just almost negate his last attack. Just
have to see if Jesus decides to attack with the Stormbreath because the Wingmates can't block. But he's also facing down a significant amount of power on the other side now.
I don't know if he would, because, like, Ray looks like he has one card in hand. I don't know. That seems reasonable. Yeah, attacked on 8. That's a lot of damage you're threatening on swingback, though. Oh.
He's decided to first main phase something.
Let's see. Rabble Master. All right.
One of the most powerful cards in Standard. It's just almost in every single red deck. There's almost not a reason to play it.
Same with the Goblin and the Dragon. The Goblin, no fear of Stoke or Lightning Strike or anything like that. So he's going to take 4 down to 8. Jesus is going to Hordeling Outburst.
Yeah, a lot of people like to block the Rabble Master tokens without thinking about it, but in decks like that, they really is some of their only way of getting reach for their burn spells to kill your bigger creatures. So you really have to weigh, is it worth losing a life or not at that point? Or losing your losing your creature.
Gonna draw. Looks like he has 3 cards in hand.
4, I think.
4.
So this is a pretty important turn.
Like, I think he can just, like, attack, see how he blocks, depending on what he plays. Like, a Siege Rhino or another Rock will just even out the game. Like, another Bioblight, too, is just a blowout.
So at minimum, I would attack with the rocks no matter what, because they're not going to be able to block the Storm Breath on swing back, and they can't be blocked through the air. And he'll gain 2 life off of it.
Yeah, it's... You gain 2, get in 6, threaten lethal. The only problem is if you'd want to hold Rock back for the case of, like, just not straight dying to a couple burn spells, but I think he would be anyway. So he plays a Lion, which is good ground defense, and sends in with the team.
So he's going to pick up 3 life, and he's actually swinging for quite a lot.
Picks up and attacks for picks up 3 and attacks for 10.
Yeah, there's definitely a reason that people say Wingmate Rock is the scariest and best card in that deck.
I know from experience, it's like if like turn 4 and 5 is terrible because they're just gonna like they're just gonna Rhino into Rock.
So he's like chump blocking and taking 1, plus the other 6.
Goes to 5.
Ray just passes, so he's got a lot of power out. He's got to make sure he doesn't face lethal on the swing back.
If Ray has his Murderous Cut or any number of heroes downfall, the Stormbreath Dragon is probably not even relevant. Jesus going in the tank.
It's probably now or never on this turn.
Yeah, it's like you got to kill him this turn or he just creeps back in. Plus, he's just like facing lethal in the air anyways.
So obviously he probably doesn't have the 7th land because he didn't slam it.
Yeah. Just goes right into combat and sends in with everything. Ray is going to quickly tap. Yep. Murderous Cut on the Stormbreath Dragon.
I think that if Ray blocks the Rabble Master here, he's not taking lethal anymore, and he's pretty much cleared out.
Yep. He just
took the game away in his favor.
Took the 4 to 7 and then
has lethal.
Has more than lethal on board.
On swing back.
So Jose is going.
Has anything for a follow-up play?
Apologize. I don't even know. I think Stormbreath Dragon would be the only good card, right? And even then, you're still just dying. Yeah. He just packs it in.
Plus, Ray would be picking up another 3 life, no matter what, plus the cards in his hand.
The game was lost there when, as soon as the Wingmate Rock came down over the Rhino and just got a couple attacks in, the game was over. So for Sideboard, what do you think he's going to bring in? He has 3 Back to Nature, 3 Glare Heresy, 4 Drown in Sorrow, 2 Sorin, 1 Downfall, 1 Whip, and 1 Misa.
I for sure think he'll bring in the Drown in Sorrows for the Hordeling Outburst and the Rabble Masters, assuming that Jesus can't just take out every single one of those in his deck, because you can't make your deck too threat light. So he has to keep in some number of those.
I know for sure it's like I know from the fear of at least Doom Make Giant being so big in the format recently that you just might not even want Hordeling Outburst at all against the black deck after game 1.
And see, the only things I can think that Jesus would have in his deck that can answer some of Ray's bigger things is he needs to go up to a certain amount of Crater's Claws.
Yeah. Crater's Claws is definitely a sweet one. I think the Whip might come in, or or the downfall, just to have more ways to get rid of Stormbreath Dragon.
Yeah. And I actually think that maybe not on the draw the whip is relevant, but if it was on the play, the whip can actually be relevant in this matchup because if they don't kill you by a certain turn, they almost have no way of coming back when you start gaining 4 life a turn.
Whipping Siege Rhino is definitely a very strong play. Jesus on the play for game 2. And
looks like they're both going
to keep. Yep.
Same turn as last turn 1.
All right. Take a
This time he puts it on the bottom instead of the top.
Keeping. What do you think he's looking for? Lands? Probably.
If I were him, I'd want to get started as fast as possible. Not playing something your first 2 turns is not good against.
Having no Air of the Wilds is not very good.
Against a deck that has this late game power in it.
I guess he could be holding up Lightning Strike for like the turn 2 Lion or Death Dealer.
Scry and keep on top for Ray and pass.
Just passes again.
No,
this is his third.
No third land.
And Ray's just going to capitalize with a 3rd turn Anafenza, the foremost, and just...
Which is one of the best 3 drops in the format right now.
Hits his 3rd, comes into play tap, leaves it on top.
It's definitely a really strong card in this deck. And there's not many answers that Jesus is going to have for this early. He might be taking quite a bit off this Anafenza.
16 into Rhino,
Anafenza into Rhino when your opponent misses a land drop is a very strong start.
Yeah. Now he's just facing like, what, 9 damage on board?
And he's already taken 7. So he hit his 4th land.
But unfortunately, it is a fetch land. But yeah, Hordeling Outburst is against the 5 power Siege Rhino. Hordeling Outburst doesn't do much. I guess he's gonna fetch. So
it's cracking main.
So Stoke the Flames.
That's the only thing I can think that he'd have because there isn't really anyone.
Yeah, there's no reason to fetch otherwise.
Yeah, 1 red mana spells in the format that do anything. Otherwise, you would just hold on to your land.
No, what's that one red one with Convoke at M15? Gather Courage or something? Yeah.
Something I don't think you have to worry about too often.
Nah, dude.
So let's say it looks like he has Stoke. So he stokes the Anafenza here. So he's still facing a Siege Rhino, which...
I just don't think there's a way for him to beat Rhino.
And if he comes out with another Rhino, it's almost over.
Yeah, if Ray plays a 2nd Rhino here, or even just like Rhino 2nd main draw.
Yeah, 4 mana again.
4 mana. Oh, and there it is.
Just really... This deck is capable of so many strong starts like that.
It's just... I mean, Jesus does not seem to be drawing the best of cards. I apologize I keep messing up the name. I feel bad. He was my 3rd round opponent in Swiss. He's a pretty good guy. I've seen him at quite a few PTQs in the Sacramento and like Vacaville area.
Yeah, I see him around a lot too. He's solid. I double drew with him into the top 8 of this. So did Ray, I believe.
Yeah.
Turn 5, Stormbreath, no attack is not a good sign.
Stormbreath to block. Stormbreath to block.
Even then, you're not even, without blocking with something else, you're not even killing it.
And then if Ray has like a Bile Blight or a Hero's Downfall, it's just...
Yeah, depending on how he lines these blocks out, if Ray has it, will depend on how bad he gets blown out. So like right here, Bile Blight would be a huge blowout if that's the side it blocks.
I think Bile Blight would be a huge blowout anyway, no matter which way he blocks, right?
Yeah, but I guess he can't really play around it.
Yeah. Just like not having...
So I'm going to say the way he was blocking for a second was almost like he had to stoke the flames, but he apparently doesn't. Oof.
Abzentron for 2 counters. Like a Siege Rhino is both 5 power to be able to just...
So he gets more damage through and he doesn't lose his Siege Rhino to the double block.
And gets... Oh, man, that is brutal.
And he still has 3 mana up, so...
Yeah,
Jesus is in a rough spot.
Can play a number of cards in the 2nd main phase. He follows up with Fleece Mane Lion. He's going to take a point down to 25.
3/3 for 2 that you pay 5 and you can monstrous and make indestructible and hexproof.
I don't know what Jesus can have on this last seeming to be last turn. There's a fetch.
He's facing down 13 power.
14, right? Because he can just monstrous.
And once he monstrous the Fleece Mane, then even leaving your Storm Breath back just really does nothing for you.
Yeah, and if Ray has any removal spell, Hero's Downfall, even Bile just pushes lethal over because the Rhino's Trample.
Yeah, unfortunately for Jesus, I don't know what combination of cards would be able to get him out of the spot.
Yeah, even if he had like 2 Crater's Claws, wouldn't be. And Jesus concedes.
The only thing he might have been able to have there was if he had triple Lightning Strike, which is highly improbable. He could have killed one of the Rhinos and killed the
shows off his 2 rocks.
Yeah.
And that's it. Ray Dorman, the champion of our preliminary Pro Tour qualifier. Matrix Cards games up in the almost most northern part of California.
Ready?
What do you think?
Like I said, it was a favorable match for the Azen going in. Just too many strong creatures, not enough removal for the red-green monster deck.
Yeah, I know Jesus beat me in the Swiss, and I was on Abzan as well, but I wasn't on quite the aggressive version. I was on the Whip with Wayfinders and the slower one with the very strong late game Hornet Queens. I don't know, his fast starts just Air of the Wilds into Rabblemaster and Whirling Outburst and the Stormwrath Dragon just blew me out. Even it got to the point where like Doomlink Giant even wasn't good enough or anything like that, and I just...
Yeah, I mean, he has the potential to go underneath those decks, but when you run out Anafenzas into Siege Rhino, there's no real getting underneath that anymore.
Fenza Rhino Rock is just like seems to be the best curve possible.
Yeah. I mean, granted, you didn't start with the 2-drop, but who needs 2 drops when everything you have is 4 toughness or more?
Yeah. All right, I think it's gonna wrap it up.
Thank you for joining us at Matrix Card and Games. See you next time.
Later.